We're going to do something just a tad off schedule, and that is that we have a public hearing that we're going to conduct right now. So I'm going to declare a public hearing on the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant application open. If there is anybody who would like to address the board, please come forward and address the board on the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant application. One more time. Anybody else or anybody want to come forward and address the board? Third call. Anybody that would like to address the board, come forward now. Seeing nobody coming forward, I declare that this meeting is closed. And I will now call to order the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners. Would the clerk take the roll, please?
Commissioner McConnell.
Here.
Commissioner Tomian.
Here.
Commissioner Heidemann. Commissioner Dunn. Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Chairperson Grayton.
Here.
I'm sorry, I didn't miss that.
Would you stand for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and thank you for coming. This is the monthly meeting of the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners. We have some additions to the agenda, so I'm open for a motion, please.
Make a motion to add the 3A resolution 17-16 supporting construction of a new lock at Sault Ste. Marie and move that to 11M under new business.
Support. I have a motion support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. I need a approval on the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that with the resolution we just adopted, that the agenda be approved as amended.
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Minutes of the previous meetings of both 7:13 and 8:3.
I make a motion to approve and file the minutes of 7:13-17 commission meeting and the 8:3-17 standing committee meeting.
Support.
Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? We have no proclamations tonight. Consent agenda items A through H.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve items 7A through 7H on the consent agenda, which include the monthly budget to actual report for June 2017, the monthly summary budget to actual of July 2017, the Smiths Creek landfill activities report, the AEG operating agreement modification concerning the DTE economic impact study, that is the plant closure study, contract approval request for the CDW government, contract approval request for the Everbridge Communications, contract approval request for the Motorola Solutions Communications matter, and contract approval request for the Strategic Communications Solutions Incorporated. This is a 3-year contract to provide services to our town.
Okay?
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion on the consent agenda, or anybody want to pull anything out? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Reports of standing and special committees. I'm going to start first by introducing the mayor, who's gracious enough to invite us down, Eileen Tesh. If you would be so kind as to introduce any dignitaries, council members, staff people, citizens, anybody you would like from Almac.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. I just would like to acknowledge the newest council member, Mr. Clair.
Good evening. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. And longstanding councilwoman Irene Byrd. Hello. And Mr. Mark Thompson, who's been with the city many, many years. And Linda Mackey in the back, our acting city manager.
Well, thank all of you for inviting us down. We appreciate it. Nice to come down here. It's generally air conditioned. You have a Wi-Fi system. You have a podium where we can see the audience, and the PA system generally works. We have, who do we have coming in now?
Renee Ratcliffe?
No, the other guy.
Motley Chew Ratcliffe?
That's Motley Chew Ratcliffe.
That's Motley
Okay.
Chew Ratcliffe.
All right, Motley Chew, come on and have a seat. Settle down, Motley. All right. Let's start with Commissioner Rushing on standing committees.
Yes, I just have one. I went to a meeting for the Lennox EMS, and they gave about an hour presentation of what they've done. They just opened a brand-new 17,000 square foot EMS, which provides facilities and care for our residents. I'll get the technology wrong, but EMS, they have to go through 3 years of service. They're roughly paid about $70,000. Rather than a volunteer fireman, which requires 70 hours, they're a first aid responder and they're qualified to do that. But once you get that, they are very qualified people that have been doing an excellent job. But they have just recently purchased another 7 acres in Riley Township on Masters Road, M19, and they will be building another new facility out there. And they don't have a time frame for it, but it's going to be another big asset for the townships out in the West End. They'll be serving Riley, Wales, Emmett, Columbus, and Casco townships, and it will be a big plus for the St. Clair County.
Thank you, David. Anything else? All the way down the end, Commissioner McConnell.
I believe it was, well, I don't know what today is, Thursday, I guess, so was it Tuesday we had a meeting where they, the retirement board, our pension plan and our health insurance, our retiree health insurance fund, I don't know what's the best way to say it, it wasn't really audited, it was
Actuarial?
You know, they change a lot of the numbers from year to year, and they look at how many people are in your program, how many people are active, how many people are retired. They look at all the demographics of the ages, they look at the life expectancy table, and they try to come together and gather with numbers and find out where you sit. And I think we got a good report card from our pension fund. We had a nice increase in value, and it helps with the market doing what it's been doing. We're somewhere around 90% funded. So for municipalities, I think we're very good on that. Health insurance, a lot of different story, but health insurance is a different animal. It's changed so drastically compared to pensions over the last probably 12 years, 15 years. And we're underfunded, like I would say everybody is underfunded, but we're still maintaining, we're increasing value. But it was good to get a look at it. So, yes.
Yeah, I just want to add to it because we just had a meeting at the bank in regards to the retirees' health care. And this was 64 months, might be 65 months ago. We were at about a $2 million balance. Catch my figures if they're wrong. We're now in excess of $43 million. You look at the unfunded mandates, like with the city of Detroit or city of Pontiac, which are bankrupt, and the actions taken by the current commissioners and started taking place about 2008. And we've done a lot of inroads to make our healthcare retirement much, much better than it would have been.
I think we ended up at about 27% funded on our medical, which is not good, but it's much better than most places are. So we're fighting the fight,
Yeah, and it's something we can continue to fund for a while, right? As long as you don't have any crazies happen, like they decide to raise healthcare by 100%. You know, as long as healthcare continues to go, hopefully at a gradual pace. I think last year we were 2% on our increase for our cost, which was great. That was a big help. You just don't know where it's going to go from year to year. So as long as those costs stay down, there's been a lot of changes in contracts as far as future in who's qualified for pensions and who's qualified for health care during retirements. So we're working in the right direction. We have a long ways to go, but we didn't get a big stone thrown at us saying that we have to throw in millions of dollars to try to keep extra millions of dollars. We put in millions of dollars in it. So we were just concerned that they were going to come in and say, you need to throw an extra $5 million at it. And those kind of numbers albeit they scare us. I think other people, Danielle and Carrie, scares them even more because it's a real simple process. You just say, okay, you, and you who don't have jobs because we have to do this. So we're not at that point, and I think it'll be a while before we're there. I think it's in the right direction.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you.
Commissioner Tamian?
Well, I attended last week as your representative to the Michigan Association of Counties Region 7 their meeting. Spent about 3/4 of the meeting talking about newer and innovative programs that various counties have. And then we got a report from our lobbyists that are on the MAC staff. The program that I found the most interesting is they have, Lapeer County has followed Macomb County through a program called Hope Not Handcuffs. And what it is an initiative to address the opioid crisis. And in those counties now, if you're an addict and you want to seek treatment, you can come into the police department or the sheriff's department, and they have a strong relationship with a fan group. A lot of counties have very strong fan organizations. It's Families Against Narcotics, and they will stay with the addict until that person can be put in treatment. The sheriff had a really couple interesting points. He said that he's come to the conclusion that we're not going to arrest our way out of the opioid problem. In fact, he had the sort of embarrassing but illustrative problem that one of his deputies was hurt in a car crash, and he was given, heavy-duty narcotics and became addicted, and it became a problem, and it led to his termination. Sometimes there's a perception of people that, it's only mentally ill people or people with substantial problems that are victims of this crisis, but instead, it's a lot of our neighbors, their children, and it's very interesting. They insist in their program that they get into a treatment program that lasts at least a year, because their experience, and I think it's pretty uniform, is that a 30-day treatment program is usually not enough to help the individual really break that circle. And there was an article in the paper that you blocked where this one woman just in the program, and she talked about how all 16 of her friends have died of overdoses, and she begins every day, looking to get money some way to shoot up 3 or 4 times a day, and she kind of hopes that she dies because she hates the lemon that she's in. So it was very powerful and very interesting. There's another program that Lapeer County's come up with, that if there's an accident or death in the family, an arrest, and there's a school-aged child involved, they have a program where the police or the fire or the ambulance contact this one central social service agency, and they send an immediate email to the schools. And what it is just to alert the schools so that the teacher who has that pupil can watch and see if that incident has caused a problem in their life. And if it has, that's the beginning of referrals to other social service agencies. And it sounds kind of simplistic, but they say it's really helped out a lot.
It's the first line.
And it's working so well that the first responders as well as the teachers are working on it. And then we heard from our lobbyist about the problems that Greg was talking about. We're not experiencing like many other municipalities with pensions and with retiree health care, and that the legislature is planning to make that a top priority going forward. but they don't really have any suggestions on how to address it. There was legislation passed to change pensions for educators and public teachers, but when they tried to implement the same sort of plans for firemen and policemen, there was a real pushback by their organizations, and the legislature dropped it. And I don't think Mac's optimistic that they'll be able to do anything in the face of that.
They don't know how to fund it.
Yeah, they don't have
They don't have the money to fund it.
they don't have the money to fund it, and they realize that all municipalities don't have the money to fund it. And on the pension side, the Constitution says they cannot reduce current employees' pensions. But what they're looking at is new hires, like in the schools. I think the new defined benefit program starts like in January 2018, something like that. Also, then they talked about our budget problems. We all know that even though property tax values are going up across our state and our county, that the various revenue amendments to the Constitution, the proposal and the Headley Amendment have limited the growth of the property tax to around 2 or 3% a year. When it dropped to 20%, dropped by 20%, it's going to take almost 20 years for us to get back to where the revenue was. And in addition to that, they've done away with the personal property tax for new industrial property. And we're getting reimbursed here, as I understand it, for the existing industrial property that we have. And by going forward with the new investments and things, so that we're actually losing them money there. And finally, they're not funding revenue sharing to keep up with where the actual collections of revenue have gone. We're something like 8 years behind the percentage increases that we should receive. So it was very interesting to talk with them, and the group that belonged to this, in addition to St. Clair County, are Lapeer County, St. Clair County, Lapeer, and Sewell County.
Very good. Anything else?
That's all I got for now.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Tomlin. I have a couple of items I wanted to share with you. First off, I have a letter that I would like to read to you, if you don't mind, and it's complimenting the sheriff, and I know that the sheriff is down here with a contract, so I think that the citizens down here would like to know this. I got a letter from a woman that said, recently our mother with mental illness became missing in St. Clair County. This trying time for our family was eased with the great work your sheriff's department did. We could not have been in better hands, especially deputies Larry and Phil, two exceptional officers. These gentlemen kept us informed and guided us through the process of the search and rescue. They have kept in contact with us even after our mother was found, visiting her at the hospital, calling to see if we needed anything, answering any questions. We cannot thank you or them enough. It brings back the hope that there is good in the world, and to protect and serve is just not the model, but a characteristic of the St. Clair County Sheriff's Department. Thank you again, the family of Sheila Marentep. So I'm hoping that the sheriff gets a copy of that. We'll send it to him if he hasn't already gotten one. Also, wanted to let you know that we do a lot of things and we reach into a lot of directions. As you can tell by some of the reports from some of the other commissioners, all of us sit on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 different committees, and we don't have time to do all of it ourselves, so we reach out. I didn't have time to go to that meeting, so Commissioner Tommy fills me in. I didn't have a chance to do some of the things Greg does, he fills me in, and the same with Dave over there. We work together in that respect. So I just want to give you a quick update. The entire county got new fire pagers. I don't know how many were, 425, something like that, through the whole county. And we're having a couple of issues, but only in a couple of areas, Marine City in particular. And since I represent Marine City, I was at a meeting yesterday, and it looks like we're getting those fire pagers fixed. So it's been a process. I know that's your committee, but you were out and I was there, so we handled it for you.
What's the solution?
They're working on a software solution right now. In fact, they had a fella come down. I was absolutely amazed. This guy came from Metamora Campground, where he's on vacation for 2 weeks. He took time out during his vacation, came down. sat there for the entire day and reprogrammed a couple of the pagers, and that's all they did was reprogram them, took out some of the toggle switches like the on duty, off duty, some of those things that were on, some that were off, that needed to be off, just reprogrammed those things that way, changed a little bit of the software, and they did it on a trial one about a week ago, and it seems like it may have solved the problem. So they took and did one more that day, and then through the computer, they blasted it and hit all of them at the same time. So we'll know within about a week whether that's going to work or not. So it's been an issue, but all of our fire departments, including Algonac's Fire Department, is up to speed on brand new pagers that are the state-of-the-art 800 megahertz system, so we're good there. Also wanted to mention that we've had a recent meeting with the city, with the mayor and with acting city manager Linda. Bill Bullard came down from our lobbyist group, and Jeff Bohm and myself were here. Somebody else was there too. BJ Meldrum, good, thank you. And we took a look at the boardwalk. It needs to be replaced. It's been in there for probably 30 or 35 years, I'm guessing, and it needs replacing. So we brought Bill down to take a look at it. He's very good at pointing people in the direction of grants. So we're going to be working very closely with the city of Algonac on that to try to get a grant for the boardwalk. We're also working with the city on maybe having to upgrade their master plan should they decide to go for a grant and it's needed, so we'll work with them on that. Dave Struck is coming down probably September or October from Metropolitan Planning, and he is going to work with the community and the citizens and the council and administration to try to sit down and figure out where does Algonac want to go and how can we help you get there. Okay. And the last thing I wanted to say was Algonac is in the hunt for a new city manager. They interviewed 5 people in the past week or week and a half, and I was amazed. I would say without a doubt they have some excellent candidates, and I think that the decision, I'm looking out at 4 council people nodding their heads, the decision is going to be very difficult. Not because they can't find one they want, it's because they're going to have to say one or two of them you can't have the job, when in reality I think they could handle it. So good luck to you on all of that. All right. Moving on, citizens wishing to address the board. I have a few people that would like to address the board tonight. First up is Iris Parlangi.
Close, good.
I'm sorry, Parlangel. No, wait, pardon.
It's only been a year.
Parlangelli.
Parlangelli.
Parlangelli. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable, I'm sorry.
But that's the best it's been done.
Iris, stick with Iris.
Yeah,
All right,
okay, well,
Iris,
you kind of ruined my beginning, which is.
I'm sorry. I'm
Good
sorry.
evening, my name is Iris Parlangeli, and I'm a board member of the Michigan Pet Fund Alliance. And I think, you probably think it's odd that I'm introducing myself to you after a year. But I think that in this stage of developments in improving the animal control, that it's a good time for us to go over who does what specifically. So let me tell you about the pet fund since I'm on the board. First of all, we have only one goal. And our one goal is to end the killing of healthy, treatable animals in shelters. We do this with education, we do it with advocacy, we do it with training. We've worked all over the state, I think I told you that. What we've done so far with you is to provide a couple of you with intros to Tanya Hingeldorf from Washtenaw County, Jeff Randazzo from Macomb County. I know Commissioner Bohm has been in a meeting with Ken Kempers from Genesee, and I know that, at least I think, he has a meeting set up with Paul Wallace from Lapeer. All of these people have worked with the Pet Fund to help transform their shelters. All of them that I mentioned started with higher kill rates than what you have now. But they've worked with us. And the funny part about this, and I was thinking on the way down, naively a year ago when I came here, I thought I would walk in, happily work with the sheriff, improve the shelter, we'd leave, that would be it. It didn't exactly work out that way. So that's the Pet Fund. The people I want to talk to you about now is a group that's just emerging called the St. Clair Animal Advocates of St. Clair. You're just beginning to see this group step up and demand change, and I'm sure they will be more vocal as time passes. I think the last time I looked, and that was a couple days ago, there were 2 Facebook pages completely dedicated to improving animal control. One of them had over 900 members. The other one, I believe, had either close to or over 600 members. Now, these are not people who love animal control. These are people who, over the years, have had poor experiences with animal control. And let me mention to you that they're also voters in St. Clair County. You may have noticed tonight, and I hope you did, we didn't, but there were a few people out picketing. Why aren't all of the people I was talking about out picketing? The 600, the 900, the other hundreds on the Facebook pages. I've heard many reasons. First of all, I have heard at least 20 times that people in the community are afraid of the sheriff.
You have about 10 more seconds.
I'm almost done.
What you mentioned.
I believe that I've seen his power in the community and in the courtroom. That's why I want to commend all of these people who stepped forward to speak or protest in favor of change. As these people spread the word, others will step forward. They won't need as much courage as these people, though, because they will be able to demonstrate their commitment to change excuse me, in the privacy of the voting booth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up would be Susan Atwater.
Hi, how's everybody doing tonight? I managed to give each of you a little something called the 4 most effective ways for leaders to solve problems. I invite you afterward to go ahead, take the 10 minutes, and read through it. Forbes put this article out and it was absolutely amazing. It goes over how to solve the problems. You see, we all stand here month after month and keep asking the same things about transparency resolutions, copies of written policy, open communications, best practices, with some form of cooperation. As of today, I can say that none of this has happened. As a matter of fact, communications with the rescues has almost come to a complete stop. You see, those people that are pulling all these animals who sit in those cages every day in and day out, are now not able to save the lives of those animals. On July 24th, the last communications with the rescues was sent out. In 3 weeks, there has been no communications. When asked as to why, the response was, nothing's changed on the list. 3 weeks, no animals were taken in, none were adopted out, none were euthanized or killed. Communication is the only way to recognize that there is a problem and fix it. We are and have been communicating. You know, a conversation really doesn't go far when it's one-sided. There needs to be 2 parties involved. It does not take a lot of effort to send out an email, set up that 1-hour meeting, to take that first step to fix a mess. Do you think that the sheriff would stand by when one of his other departments made a debacle of what was going on? I can bet you he wouldn't. So, why is it taking so long to fix this mess? There are 3 things that we're looking for: transparency in resolutions, written policies, best practices. There are 3 places to start. Pick one. Let's start working.
Anybody heart this?
Susan just basically said what I was going to say, but 2 years ago, I saw a rescue list posted on Facebook that had a listing of cats and dogs, and I thought, what's going on with it? So I started circulating it. I pulled 13 animals from St. Clair County Animal Control that week. It'll be almost 2 years. And since then, my networking has probably saved 400 plus cats, 100 plus dogs from St. Clair County Animal Control. And like Susan said, there's been no rescue list. So any owner surrender dog is not on their website. There's dogs sitting there that have been owner surrendered that are pit mixes. They're not going to be put up for adoption. They are not getting any visibility. Any of the cats that are owner surrender, they're not getting any visibility for rescues to pull. It's a death sentence for them. There's nothing since September 24th. There's been 5 cats killed a dog killed, and they took in a litter of kittens that were like 5 weeks old. They all died from lack of medical care. They cannot care for 5-week-old kittens that get surrendered, but they feel they have to put them on a stray hold. Why? If they had relationships with rescues, they could call a rescue and say, hey, can you take these kittens? Do the stray hold, make sure they survive, and then bring them back and adopt them out. I mean, that would be the perfect situation. I've been banned from animal control since November of 2015 for stating my opinion on how they care for the animals. I sat there crying, and Stephanie Ignash told me to get off her property, that if I was ever there again, I would be arrested. She's threatened me on 3 or 4 different occasions about being arrested for stating my opinion. So for the sake of the animals, I've stayed away. I've networked and rescued and managed to save, like I said, 400 cats, 100 dogs, just from social media without stepping on their property. It's illegal for them to ban me from their property for stating my opinion, but I did it for the animals. I don't get responses to emails. Nobody is getting responses to emails. There's other rescues that have sent emails saying, why haven't we received a rescue list? Were we removed from the email? No, nothing has changed. Things have changed. Animals have been killed. Animals have died. New animals have been added since July 24th. Yet the rescue community is not being made aware of that. And the only way to help save any of these animals there is with the rescue community, because animal control does absolutely nothing to help save the lives of these animals. And you're going to see a lot of people stepping up to bring out change there, because it's an atrocity of what's going on there. They don't care. A shelter director needs to be brought in that can help this place to be a good place, a safe place for animals. People can bring their animals in and not worry about them being killed. And Stephanie has to quit lying to people when they bring an animal in. Oh, they're going to go to rescue, or we'll put them up for adoption. She doesn't tell them, oh, there's an 85% chance they're going to be killed.
If you could wrap it up, please.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Karen Michalski.
Hi, my name is Dr. Karen Michalski. I own Serenity Animal Hospital in Sterling Heights. I have spoken with you. It's been a while now, and I apologize I haven't been here sooner because of my work schedule. However, I do want to discuss things because I'm very upset with the way the situation is currently. I've lived in this county for 2 years now, and I got involved in the animal rescue because of Kim and other people who brought it to my attention. And I thought I would do something to help my community since I now live in St. Clair. And because I do so much animal rescue anyway, both nationally and internationally as well too. I like St. Clair. It's a beautiful place. I've met nothing but nice people, but the attitude really appears to be in the dark ages as far as the animals are concerned. And there's so much potential here to help. There are so many people willing to work here on a volunteer basis, myself included. Kim has been the shelter director for the last 2 years. And you may not like me saying that, but I have worked with her intensely, and she probably severely underestimated the amount of animals she's saved because I've been part of saving those animals as well. I've offered free veterinary care. I've offered help in any way, and initially that was being helped. I was offered, okay, they would call me and say, okay, we've got a litter of kittens, do you want to take it? Yes, I'll come by and get it. You know, anything that we could do to help try to save the situation. But now they've shut down the rescues. They've shut down myself, everyone else, and you know, they aren't communicating. So these animals now are in limbo, and we can't even help them. The conditions that the animals are in there is hard to keep them healthy. When you have that many animals in one place, it is very challenging. but they still won't accept veterinary help, which, according to the state of Michigan, is not appropriate. Like I said, I've offered to help. They have a technician there who is making medical decisions, which is illegal. And they don't utilize their veterinarians more than maybe once a week, and even then, I've been called after the veterinarian has been there because they have a sick animal and they want to know what to do with it. Now I'm not getting any calls.
You have about 10 seconds, please.
I would really appreciate, not only from the atmosphere of the animals, because that is what I'm living my life with and for, is the animals. But this is a black mark on this county. It's terrible to hear how everything has just shut down now. And I'm part of the shutdown. I thought, on good terms with them, and all of a sudden, I'm not even being contacted to assist. I could help. I want to help. I'm not being allowed to. Thank you.
very much. All right, moving on to, I'm sorry, anybody else need to address the board tonight? All right, moving on to unfinished business. There is none. Under new business, items A through M. We're going to go through these one at a time, but it's going to be very quickly, and you're going to think they're racing through these things. But I need to tell you in advance, all of these items on this agenda have been at our committee level board meeting, which was 2 weeks ago, and the work has been done on these things. So tonight's almost a formality, but we do it in case something else comes up, and then we'll give it final approval tonight. So let's move on to item A, the approval of county disbursements for June.
This time, I'd like to move to approve the June 2017 county disbursements in the amount of $10,282,967.08.
Support. Motion and support. Discussion? All in favor?
No roll call.
I'm sorry, roll call.
Commissioner O'Connell,
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Chairperson Greatham.
Yes. Item B, approval of county disbursements July 2017.
I move the approval of the $11.9 million in disbursements.
Support. Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Chairperson Greatham.
Yes. Item C, fiscal year 2017 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program.
Move to approve the fiscal year 2017 Edward Byron Memorial Justice Assistant Grant Program application in the amount of $11,980.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Chairperson Greatham.
Yes. Item D, Library Board reappointment.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we reappoint Kathleen Wilhan to the Library Board representing District 3 for a 5-year term expiring August 6, 2022.
Support.
Motion support. Discussion on that appointment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item E is the 2018 Residential Substance Abuse Treatment Grant application.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve that grant application in the amount of $100,000.
Support.
I have motion and support for the grant. Discussion? Roll call,
You
please.
just need this is a grant application, just need a verbal correction. You won't need a roll call, I believe.
Yep.
It is money. It's money.
It's money. Yeah, roll call.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Chairperson Greatham.
Yes. Moving on to item F, agreement for law enforcement services, anchor-based school district. And some of you may wonder why we're doing anchor-based schools. They happen to be on the St. Clair County side of County Line Road. Across the road would be Macomb County, and they built anchor-based schools on the St. Clair County side, so our sheriff handles the services that they require there, so.
This time, I'd like to move to approve the agreement for law enforcement services with the Anchor Bay School District for a term of September 1st, 2017 through August 31st, 2020 in the amount of $221,904.96.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on that? I know we had some at the meeting. Everybody's clear? Roll call?
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Chairperson Greatham.
Yes. Item G is the Columbus Playground Equipment Purchase.
I move to approve the purchase of the playground equipment for Columbus Park from Landscape Structures in the amount of $101,393.48.
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion or questions? Dave, you're all set with that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Chairperson Greatham.
Yes. Item H, Columbus Site Improvement Final Change Order.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the final change order with JB Contractors for Columbus Park site improvements in the amount of $8,733.50.
Support. Motion and support. Any discussion? Questions? Roll call vote.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Chairperson Chairperson Greatham.
Janelle, it's easy to do, they look so much alike.
I was doing so well.
That's a good point. They both lack hair on the top.
Ms. Janelle, you're out of order. What am I voting on? I say yes. My friend Carl. Roll call.
We did.
Oh, we did it. All right. Let's talk about painting the barn. What do you say, guys? Item I, Little Barn Painting Contract.
At this time, I'd like to move toward the agreement for Goodall's Barn Painting to Thompson's Painting in the amount of not to exceed $19,580.
Support.
We have a motion and support to paint the barn. I would like to say that this is a perfect example, in my opinion, of going out for bids. And we talked briefly about this, but bids on the barn painting projects ran from a high of $48,000 down to $17,800. You're looking at a huge swing. You're looking at almost a $30,000 swing in prices. So going up for bid sometimes really is rewarding. But then you also have to think about that lowest bid. Is he capable and can he do it? But apparently we have experience with this company. It's Thompson Painting, by the way, that's going to get the contract. So,
Chairperson?
yes, sir.
Just so you know, the $19,580 is a not to exceed. The $17,000 actually got the bid, but in case it's not to exceed $19,000. So it did go to the lowest bidder.
And we put a 10% contingency in there just in case we go over. So, very good. Good point. Thank you, Commissioner Rushing. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Chairperson Greatham.
Yes. Thank you. Item J, the TAP grant Gratiot Trail Engineering Services contract.
Sir Chairman Greatham, I move to approve the agreement with Federal Armored Truck for courier service for a term of 8/15/17 through 8/14/20 in the amount of $99,000.
Support. Okay, I have a motion to support. Any discussion? I would like to point out that the particular engineering on this job was performed by Project Control Engineering, who happens to be the city's engineer and a local gentleman who lives down this way. So county kind of spreads their money where they can when they need to. So roll call, please.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Chairperson Greatham.
Yes. Item K, 7K, contract approval request, Federal Armored Truck.
I thought I just did that one. I did the wrong one.
I wasn't paying attention to what you said. I thought you were on track.
I was.
Did we do that one?
He made the motion for the
I did
armored
K.
truck, not the TAP grant.
All right,
I
let's
just need to back up a step and go to J.
Let's back up. We're going to go back to J. I guess we did that out of order. Would you like to do J?
I don't have J.
All right.
Oh, I do have J. It's hidden here. K was somebody else's.
All right, here we go. TAP grant, Gratiot Trail Engineering Services contract.
All right, I move to approve the contract with Project Control Engineering for the Gratiot Trail Engineering Services in the amount of $53,862.
Support. Motion and support. Discussion.
Just a little bit, this is going to be a bike trail that's going to go through Murraysville. That's been an ongoing project, and it's about a half mile of a construction. That'll be pretty nice improvement for bike trails.
took a ride by that location today, and it's going right under the overpass for 94 at Gratiot there. Be a good location to see kids. Roll call.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Chairperson Greatham.
Yes. All right, I'm going to go back to K again because we didn't have an opportunity to talk about the federal armored truck, so let's do that over in case we want to talk about it.
We already did it and we voted, but do we have any discussion?
Correct.
This is just,
I thought we covered that in our committee meetings.
We're good, yes, we did cover that. Okay, I'm good with that. Item L, copier maintenance agreement, Prime Office Innovations.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve that agreement for a term from September 1st, 2017 through August 31st, 2020.
Support. Motion and support, discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Tamian,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell,
yes.
Chairperson Greatham.
Yes. Item M, the lock at, resolution for the lock at Sault Ste. Marie.
That's correct. And I would like to move that resolution.
I would support.
Okay, we have a motion to support, and the resolution, it was just added to the agenda, so it may not have been on the website if you wanted to take a look at it. And while I'm mentioning that, by the way, St. Clair County, on our website, we list our agendas, but we also have the entire packet on there, so that if you ever want to go to a meeting or find out what's going on at a county meeting, you can go on there, you could see the agenda, which would look something like what you guys picked up out there. But then following that is every single page that we get. This time, I think there was, David, about 300,
Oh, that's 300 to 400 pages.
yeah,
so
360 pages, so the
Choose to
full
print that
document.
out.
Yeah, full document is on there if you want to see it. Anyway, this is a proclamation, or resolution rather, that we are supporting to try to get the Sioux locks to do what they said they were going to do about 10 or 15 years ago, and that's to close down the 2 smaller locks and then put in 1 more 1,000-foot lock so that we have 2 locks that operate for the 1,000-footers. They're running 13 1,000-foot freighters on the lakes right now. If that was the pole lock, I think that's the big one. If that goes down, those 1,000-footers stop moving, and those are the biggest carriers of the iron ore and the coal that we require. And it's not just for our immediate area. That coal goes here and supplies electricity that covers a wide range of area. The steel goes down to Detroit to make cars and washing machines and whatever else they need to do. So we feel it was an important thing to push this and to get it on probably the president's desk, I would assume. We'll see what happens. Do we need to get support on that resolution?
We did.
We have motion to support on it. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. We'll send that on to powers that be. Administrative report.
Sure. I have quite a few things to go over with you this evening. Our dispatch center has been working to get our text to 911 system up and operational. It is currently working if you have service with AT&T or Verizon. The way it works is it gets brought online by each carrier, so they're in the process of working to get the additional carriers there. Their preferences is that people dial in and call 911 first, and the text to 911 would be more of a last resort type thing, but that option is available currently with AT&T or Verizon. Our most recent bond refunding is complete. The interest savings on that was just under $70,000. As part of that process, we did have to participate in another bond rating call since our last one was almost a year ago. I'm happy to report that Standard & Poor's did reaffirm our bond rating as a AA stable. So thank you to Danielle and all of her hard work getting the information together. Those bond rating calls can be very extensive and sometimes stressful with all the questions they ask and put you on the spot. So last week, the Travel Channel was filming at our county main library branch for one of their TV shows, The Dead Files. That's the 3rd time our library has actually been featured on a different television show. C-SPAN was there last year, and they were featured on their book TV. So I'm not really sure what they were doing. They were in the basement doing research, but the episode probably will not air until next year. But when we find that out, we'll let you know. The Blue Water Convention Center, we are very close to having our selection of preferred caterers. So they will be in place we'll have them selected by the end of this month, but the agreements should be in place, or will be in place by mid-September. We will probably have, looking at about 4 preferred vendors. So when someone comes to book an event, there'll be different selections that'll be serviced by about 4 different preferred vendors. If somebody wants something special, we're not limited to those, so they would be able to bring in pretty much basically anything they wanted, or if there was something from any restaurant, we will be able to accommodate that. We will be coming to you next month with a template agreement similar to what we do at the landfill for our hauling agreements. It'll be the standard agreement that each different vendor that is chosen to be a preferred, they will have the standard agreement. If we find a vendor is not meeting our quality standards or delivering what we thought, they may drop off and a new one may come on. As of August 1st, Justin Sears is now the county's equalization director. Greg Hill is officially fully retired, so any questions regarding equalization should now go to Justin Sears. He has been in the position of deputy director for the past year, and he has moved up to the director position. We are still looking for 3 members to serve on the Commission on Aging. We have 3 vacancies. We have 1 in District 1, 1 in District 6, and an at-large member. So if you know anybody in the district, okay.
Right, I've got a couple people that are, if we could get 2 from out in that area, I think they would do it, because, which we could, if we could get a 1 at large and 1
right.
from,
We do
from
need
our
an at-large,
district.
yes.
So I think if I can get 2 of them, they could drive together to the meetings.
Okay, that would be good if you have anyone in your district. There is a meeting next, the Commission on Aging will be meeting next week to go over their proposed budgets for next year and the allocations to the different service providers. So we're hoping to get some new members on so we can have that a full board. And lastly, our September travel meeting, we do not have a location set for that. So if any of you have a community in your district that would like to host, please let us know and we can put it on next month's agenda to officially set that meeting location at committee.
If nobody comes forward, then we'll meet at the boardroom.
Yes, yep.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Any questions for the administration?
Maybe I'll ask, see if Grant wants to have it, and we can go from high to low, or however that works, right?
Which is high, which is low?
Well, depends which way you're traveling.
Yes,
For right or not.
I could ask Riley again, because that's where we have the highest attendance of all time. A lot of residents go down. And the most viewed if you go to the archives.
10% of 300 people is 30. Good. All righty. Nothing else? I'll take a motion then to accept the
So moved.
support. Take a motion support to receive and file the commission for the administrator's report. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Moving on. Miscellaneous business.
I have none.
Very good. We're moving this right along. We're going to be out at 7. Need a motion to receive and file
I
that.
would make a motion to receive and file packets that were sent to commissioners. Packets have their places and any other information presented.
Support.
Motion support, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Before we take that adjournment, I would like to just say something about this board of commissioners. And we're missing 3 of our key players, and I say key players because I consider every single one of these guys key to make this thing work the way it works. And we sit up here and we joke around about I look like Bohm and he calls me a name, and we kind of just barb a little bit back and forth. And we do that because we make it fun. But we are very serious, and we do a really good job, I believe. Everybody jumps in. Greg is chairman of the Judiciary and Public Safety Committee. He attends meeting after meeting after meeting and brings that information back to us. Carl sits on, you chair the Human Services, and he sits on meetings. This gentleman is driving down to Detroit 1 and 2 and 3 times a month. He goes out to Flint and represents us. He goes up north he's all over the place. Commissioner Rushing heads the Ways and Means. That means he's got the dollars and the cents behind, he's got the dollars behind him. And
Continue.
lost my place again.
There was some sense.
David is on top of things. David sits on one of our more important committees, and I say one of our more important committees, mostly to the citizens there, rather to us, and that's the Road Commission. One of the things that I get called about more than anything else probably at my house is the roads. It's a call that I get all the time, so I have to refer some of those to David, but it works well. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that it's been a pleasure being down here. Thank you for bringing us down here, and I am now ready for a final motion.
I move that we adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.